We begin with this. A Long Beach man is facing federal charges tonight, accused of sending money to the terrorist group ISIS. The story gets more concerning. FBI agents say they also found what appears to be a bomb at his home. Fox 11's Ed Lascos, he's live there in Long Beach with this story tonight for us. Ed?
And Marla, as you were saying, a story that even gets more interesting as it goes on, as investigators move on. Not only do they find what appears to be a bomb, but they also say that their suspect here allegedly made offers saying he wanted to become an ISIS fighter himself to join their battle and to become part of the religion, and as he said in the affidavit, quote, to go to heaven. In any event, let's start it off with the early morning raid. The video here is from a porch across the street as neighbors were awakened by all of this activity. Watch. Sirens, the horns go off because of the flashbang that federal agents, FBI agents use as they move into this home. They had been targeting it for several days, and the suspect, their target apparently for several months, ID'd as 28-year-old Mark Lorenzo Villanueva, taken into custody, and also investigators searched the home, and in the back bedroom, Villanueva's bedroom, they say they found something that really concerned them, what appeared to be a bomb. A look at it there is wrapped in plastic in some tinfoil wrapping is what investigators say. They were very concerned about that because Villanueva made claims on social media that he in fact had a bomb, so they took that device into custody along with Villanueva. All of this started to go down, federal agents, as they released and unsealed their affidavit in court a little while ago. Started several months ago, back in February actually, when Villanueva allegedly made contact to these supposed ISIS fighters through social media, reaching out to them saying he wanted to become an ISIS fighter, allegedly. Also allegedly sending them money. The feds say he sent them 12 payments, Western Union wiring them money, about $1,600 over that period of time. So that put him on their radar. Federal investigators and neighbors say they noticed a lot of activity here, undercover activity the last week or so. The feds had this home under their surveillance, and then this morning they moved in even before the sun came up as we come back out live. So a very surprising situation here. The investigation goes on, but that bomb turned out not to be explosive, if you will. They removed it, and now Villanueva in court earlier. He'll be back in court for an arraignment in a couple of weeks. Marla, back to you.
And we're thinking that the feds were tipped off by perhaps tracking online activity, which is often the case.
Yeah, that social media fingerprint, as they say, the online digital fingerprint, very important here, especially when you are reaching out to what our government calls a qualified, declared ISIS organization, a terrorist organization, obviously with ties to Iraq and Syria. As we know, that ISIS hasn't been in the news in a while, certainly was a few years back. So yes, but the investigators, the feds, always on that, and when you start making contact like that, it sure puts you on their radar very fast.
And lastly, when the feds come to get you, by this point, they've crossed their T's and they've dotted their I's.
Yeah, very much so. And the affidavit was really, to your point, sealed up very quickly. They had it from, as they said, their investigation began in early February. They also had, besides the social media communication, the use of the Western Union wiring the money overseas. So there was a lot of activity going on, a lot of evidence, as they were telling the judge a couple of hours ago.
All right. Ed Lascos, live for us in Long Beach. Thank you so much, Ed.